anything to do with Western big game.
Welcome to the Epic Outdoors Podcast, powered by Under Armour.
What up, everybody? It's Jason Carter, Adam Bronson coming at you from Southern Utah. We're talking about Nevada today, Bronson, one of our favorite states ever.
Well, especially when it rains, finally.
Chip it.
So it's obviously no secret it's a dry state. Utah's, I think, technically number 2 behind Nevada, driest state in the nation. And
which is weird because it feels like Arizona should be, or New Mexico.
Well, they get so much monsoonal rain down there that I think it just catches up.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's on the front burner. It's May. Can you believe that?
I can't believe it. It's May 2nd.
It's
We're
amazing.
2 days into May.
It's amazing.
Well, Bronson, so we've had a heavy weekend. And actually
5 or 6 days we had.
Maybe
Utah deadline the 27th. Kansas is 28th.
Idaho the 30th. Yeah.
Montana moose sheep goats yesterday, and the magazine for the June and California
June, July,
and Arizona,
which it marks the first of our bi-monthlies, basically. So June, July is basically the last of our monthly, and
the last of the state mags, which is basically May 1st is always. Uno de Mayo is always a holiday in our
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Usually by May 1st we are done, and it happened to be May 2nd.
Let's do this. Let's give away something because
it's Uno de Mayo.
Uno de Mayo. I like it. It's the epic holiday, dude. I mean, think about it. Yesterday we were ecstatic. Why? Because our life changed. Instead of coming in at 3 in the morning, we now get to come in at 8 and do a normal 8 to 5-er.
May 1st, the first morning that I golfed before work.
Both of us,
and I was here. I was only here 8 minutes late. I was here at 8:08.
Hey,
and I still.
And
golfed
I've been
9.
retrieving trucks in the middle of nowhere. So Justin's he's out turkey hunting with Ash. They're killing it, and making me proud. Of course, I'm working or whatever, doing other things that I'm supposed to be doing, other dad projects over the weekend. And they slide into a ditch, and he runs a stick through the radiator. And it's like puts a hole like double my thumb. And thank goodness for JB Will.
That had to be cedar.
I don't know. Yeah, you're in cedar country, so I assume.
Meaning that's a tough stick. That doesn't. If it was a brittle stick, it would have snapped in 40 pieces.
Oh, I had to basically take vice grips to get it out. Like it was jammed in there, and it actually bent. It curled up skid plate. Just totally curled it up and then jammed in there. And I thought, and I can't get a box trailer in there like a dump trailer that I have or whatever to load it up, haul it out.
So you got to limp this thing out of here somehow.
And do you drag it through 4-foot big old washes from the runoff? You got all these big ditches, and I'm just like, this is a problem. This thing's out of water. It's down low. So I take I take a torch, freaking light it up and just get it cleaned off, and then throw a whole freaking deal, the entire thing of JB Weld in it, and then just left it over the weekend. Went back.
That sounds ASE certified.
Hey, I know this. It doesn't leak a drop. It doesn't leak a drop, Bronson. Justin's like, I think I'm going to pay for a radiator. I just don't want to be stranded, Dad.
Yes,
I'm like,
do that.
I don't know. I think it's fine.
Come on.
I think it's fine.
All right, let's get it to be 120 degrees. Stuff swells, shrinks.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll throw Bar's leak in it just for good measure, because that's fine pepper. All that plugs those little fine holes. Huh?
What, throw sawdust in there too?
Well, I don't know.
Some goo.
Anyway, we got it home. So Bronson, when I went and did that this morning, and then we both rolled in about 8:15, 8:20. It's the first time I can remember.
Oh yeah. Yep, it's nice. Sun's shining, and deadlines just mean there's a few less front burner projects. Doesn't mean there's not front burner projects, but the dimensions are leaving and having to write another magazine's over. And all those, like we just said, if you want to go check out the eMag, it's online. It's live right now for Arizona and California. You can't apply in California. You can't apply in Arizona yet. It's not hot on their website, but California is hot.
California is, and Arizona has published their regs. So, hey, I thought you'd be able to apply, but not yet. They've got some internal difficulties. There's been some people, retire from the department, and I think some of the reports reflect that. But anyway, they do good work down there, especially on these wet years. How about that? I mean, what are we complaining about? It's pretty awesome.
Yep.
We're so excited. Bronson, I think we should outline your hunting schedule because you got a hole or two. And maybe a listener
you
has
mean?
an idea
I
of
don't
what you
have
should fill
much. A hole or two.
in your
I need
schedule.
something on my schedule.
you got
I mean-
you got some plans.
Well, yeah,
You got
but
some
I mean,
plans.
it's really the next 45 days is honestly all year long. You're always optimistic to try to draw an Arizona elk or New Mexico random draw something.
You
but
were
really
you were
most
optimistic
of
in
my
Arizona for elk, and they gave you the shaft.
stuff, well, yeah,
Huh?
Yeah, you're just, so you're
I
optimistic.
think they gave you
but
both fingers. Huh?
however you want to word it. I'm not.
Well,
hunting
you
there.
had the points.
I'm not hunting there. I'm not hunting
no,
there for elk.
me
Let's put
neither.
it that way.
Me neither.
So,
but I want to be.
But these latter states, I'm going all in.
What does that mean?
Nevada,
You've
Utah,
always gone all in.
Colorado.
What does that mean?
Well,
What I do,
it's just changing the mentality.
what I do find
I
interesting
didn't really want Arizona, New
is
Mexico
you've
anyway.
been plugging and playing in Nevada because you can.
Yeah, I love
And,
it.
and you just kind of change your ordering, and then it makes me want to change my ordering, and so I go look and plug and play. I look at my kids' stuff, and by the way, May 8th is the last amend day for Wyoming. And Wyoming elk, you brought it up, and I went in and made sure my kids, everybody was good, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I do remember applying for that. I had
Well,
lost track.
January's a long time ago.
It was.
We've been through a lot since then.
We have been through a lot
I mean,
of early
It
mornings.
feels like a lot's transpired.
So let's give something away. It's freaking Uno
Uno de
de Mayo, de
Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo, whatever. Uno de Mayo. I like it.
Uno de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo's
The
Friday.
epic
We'll
Uno
go-
de Mayo holiday. What are we going to give away? It's trail camera season.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's give away 3 of them.
Three.
Huh?
To one person, or what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or you want to do one, or do you want to do
Whatever.
3 individuals?
Logan's
let's
good.
do 3 individuals.
I
What
don't
do you think? Spread the
one,
love.
One camera seems chintzy.
I like the all or nothing giveaways.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And it's easy, right? That's
Yeah.
what you're thinking of, Logan.
No,
It
I've
makes
never-
your job easy.
Okay.
Okay.
How do they enter,
Let's-
Logan? What do they got to do here? I mean, what do you got to do? Usually we got to do.
Well, let's
some
tag
queryable.
Uno de Mayo. So UNODEMAYO.
Yeah. Pretty.
All right.
Uno de Mayo.
Yeah. Hit translate into your phone.
You
and
tag
spit
Uno-
it out and see if that's right.
Hashtag Uno de Mayo.
What do we
We're
wanna
going to go
see?
on there, and hey, if
Epic.
there's
You
one
have to
boy,
put the word epic in there because there's probably
Well,
Uno de Mayo.
We'll tag our
real
account.
stuff.
I'm going to look right now on the hashtag. Hold on.
Tag our Epic Hunts account. Use hashtag Epic Uno de Mayo.
Epic, huh? Say it again.
Tag our Epic Hunts account and then use hashtag
Dude, Uno de Mayo
Mayo.
has 5,000
Yes, that's
plus
what I mean.
posts.
Do epic Uno de Mayo. And It's
Okay.
probably none, 0, less than 5.
Okay, let me do that. Let's see.
If you
what
add a
we
word,
got.
it's going to be easy.
Tags.
It does not exist.
That's right. There is not one.
'Kay.
So
hey.
EPICUNODEMAYO.
It's not every day you can make a brand new hashtag.
Well, we just did.
We seem to do it often.
So if all you do is tag Epic Uno de Mayo, and you tag Epic Hunts, obviously in your little write up, little verbiage,
What?
then we're gonna do a random drawing, and let's do it by Friday. I want it fast.
Before Cinco.
I want the odds to be good. Oh, Bronson, I'm sick of the bad odds. Let's make the odds good.
By Friday.
Short application periods,
Okay.
which reminds me of our Epic membership drive. A
Okay.
short
Okay.
application period.
By Friday, at what time are you going to draw the line of sound? Logan, what time do you want to leave work that day? That's basically what it comes
Oh,
down
Logan, do you even work?
I try
We
my
got the-
best to work.
We got
Hey,
the
what do you
Gen
mean?
Z clocking
to. No,
in.
he's out of school right now, so he's
I know.
he's got his plate's lighting too.
Yeah.
Uno de Mayo means something to this guy
Do
too.
you want full-time work, part-time work? What are we doing with you?
Well,
anyway?
don't put
what are
the-
we doing with
don't-
Logan?
Don't put it at midnight.
Logan
that
does
night.
whatever he wants.
well,
11:59. It's got to be here at midnight.
Yeah, let's
No.
keep Logan here.
No, let's just do a good
like 4 or 5 p.m.
Yeah,
Do we-
mountain.
Mountain time.
Let's
Not
do 4.
Arizona either.
Let's do 4 o'clock. Straight up, 4 o'clock. You run the draw 4:20. You get out of here by 5.
All right.
Okay.
What do we want to see though? What are they posting?
Well, I don't know.
Whatever
Just some
they
kind
want?
of truck cam pick or something.
Okay, whatever you want.
Don't
then.
you think a scouting pick? I don't care what it is. If it's
Okay.
hunting related, don't right, Bronson?
Yeah, hunting related.
Okay.
Epic hunts. Tag Epic hunts.
If
Use the
If your
hashtag.
anniversary was Uno de Mayo, we don't want to see pictures of that. We just want to see hunting related pictures.
That's right. And we're not gonna. There is not a single post on there. We're not gonna put a post on there. If there's only 3,
We might
freaking
make
people
this
on
an
there, have
annual.
it.
Might make it an annual.
Yeah.
It is kind of. We
So
teased
fired up.
always that May 1st is like a holiday around here, and we're going to turn it into one. Within 5 years, I want it in the Google Calendar on your iPhone.
Come on.
Huh?
I want Google to put it on the Google Calendar. How about that?
I don't know.
Same as Mother's Day. Pretty important day. Uno de Mayo. Epic Uno de Mayo. All right. So anyway, Bronson, you know what else I like about Nevada? I freaking love the turnaround. we're going to know draw results before May 20th.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years ago, I can't remember exactly when it was. It's always been that they had 48 hours after they run the draw to do it, but they could take a month and a half to run the draw.
Right.
But now it's like legit.
It's legit.
You're done the 10th, and we're talking tens or hundreds of thousands of applications.
Yeah.
And they turn it around in less than 10 days.
Yeah, they do. They have a quick turnaround, which makes it awesome because you can make plans, you can schedule vacations, you can just get excited. We know for a fact, normally you have to wait for the April and May spring moisture to know if you can have big deer and we were dealing with that during drought periods. Now, I don't know that it matters what happens in May. I don't know that it matters.
Not this year.
There's so much water.
Good enough. The snow is not even close to melting.
No.
Not even close.
So fun to think about. What an incredible opportunity for those few guys that draw. They have come down tag numbers, but the quality experience is like none other. So
for all species, really, in Nevada. That's what I like.
So. Yep. So I think, Bronson, let's call Mike Scott deputy director. He's the new deputy director, and we both know Mike from way back. He's dealt with all of this Panaca, Pioche,
Southeastern
that
state.
country.
Yeah, that was he biologist there.
Yeah. Yep. And
of
course, he was out in the hills running cameras and hunting and loved big deer and hit it just as hard as anybody we knew. So, I don't know. Let's give him a holler. I just want to talk. Let's just talk about
his new
Nevada.
role. Yeah, the state of the
state of the nation.
State.
The state of the state.
State of the silver state.
Silver state. What's the price of silver right now?
What's the price of copper in
Will you
Nevada
look up
right
the price
now?
of silver? I just want to know.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got just a little bit of it. I don't know. 24, 25 bucks an ounce? What's it at?
Who cares?
Well, dude, there was a guy that
it's not
hunt gold
hey,
in the silver state.
It's not gold.
And when he died, there were millions of dollars in the bottom of the safe.
We're talking gold.
I know.
Not silver.
I know, but I still want to know. What does it say?
25.45 an ounce.
How about that? Okay, things are getting good. Of course, with inflation, that probably means about $10 an ounce. But anyway, let's call Mike, see what he's got to say about his own state.
Hey there.
What do you got going today?
Not too much. I'm
really?
It rain.
How many?
It's raining in Reno?
Oh, yeah. It's raining good in Reno.
No way.
Let's look up the radar and make sure.
Wow.
You never know.
Maybe we're getting a little bit of that, hopefully.
Mike, how many meetings have you had today?
Say that again?
How many meetings have you had today?
It's been a slow day. I've had 4.
Well, we teed up this is Adam, but we teed up a little bit that you're wearing a new hat in the department. So, yeah, we appreciate you taking time with us. We've also talked about knowing you for 15, 20 years ago when you lived just across the border from where we do and where your roots were. But, yeah, appreciate you taking some time out of your schedule to talk about the state of Nevada Department of Wildlife and hunting. And, of course, the application period's coming to a close in the next 7-8 days, but
yeah, and you've even got, it looks like, a commission meeting coming up, of course, with tag numbers and whatnot. I guess you're ready for that.
Yeah, that's well, Friday and Saturday, but Saturday's the big day where we'll go through all the quotas and get final approval on those. So that's always a kind of a long day with us, but it's engaging. It's fun to sit and listen and be a part of that. So still like being a part of it.
Maybe talk about that process just a little bit. We've got biology and sound management and all of these different things that come into play, but then you've also got the politics and social aspect of making people happy, right? Your customer, the client, hunters, and things you guys like to personally see on the landscape, and obviously you're seeing it from a different perspective now being the deputy director. Tell us a little bit about that process and all the different aspects that you're taking into consideration when you make your proposals.
Yeah, so, I am wearing a different hat now, and, it was really hard not to be in the room with all the game biologists and supervisors this year, staff. coming up with their quotas. And, that's the first time in over 30 years that I haven't been in the room. And I did pop in for a bit, here and there just to kind of see what was going on. But, it's a long process, and, we're trying to use all the science that we can. We fly all these populations, we count them. We have population models that we put the data into, and we end up with these population estimates, and we run them through the arrays that distributes tags to the different weapons groups. And we manage by buck ratios and bull ratios, ram rate. We do a lot of that, and so it's an interesting process. It's still fascinating to me, and even like I said, it was hard not being in the room this year, but we have a different social dynamic in Nevada. We really try to manage for quality animals with all of our species, and there are people that believe we should have more tags, and there are people that believe we should have fewer tags, and we try to find a balance where we can please our customers as best we can.
Well, and it's you got these sideboards as well with drought, like we're coming out of 15 years of, but real rough drought the last 3 or 4 years until this winter. And so with antelope and sheep and deer production being way off, you got populations doing one thing, and obviously we've seen what's happened with the tag numbers the last 2 or 3 years as well for some of those species, most notably the deer, and in some cases sheep too. And it's a balancing act, and I don't know what percentage of keeping people happy is a win for you guys, because it feels like 51% is not even attainable sometimes, but you know what I mean? You're balancing a lot, and we have our version of your cab meetings. We call them the RAC meetings in Utah, and you go through those, regional or local level, county advisory board meetings where you present your recommendations on a more local level. Individual units have a lot of people that attend and give their input on individual units, and then those, get incorporated, on up to the commission meeting and go through different layers. And this is now the final, I guess, vetting weekend that you guys got coming up to say, all right, factor everything in what we presented, because your permit numbers have been out, as far as your recommended permit numbers, out for a couple weeks now, whatever it is. And so now it's time to finalize those and tweak them, if any, based on input from public or biologists and things like that. And
and what I find interesting is you turn that over to the board, and so you take it from the scientific side of things and what you guys
put it out to the
your
public.
Professional recommendations are this, and then we turn it over to this board that's made up of lots of different facets of society, and I guess they make the final rule and final decision on some of this stuff.
Yeah, and that's
I've always I grew up with the Nevada system where we have county game boards, and each one of those boards has anywhere from 5 to, I think one of them has 9 members, and they're generally engaged sportsmen of some form. Some are true trophy hunters, and some are people that just that just want a tag. Some are upland game bird hunters. Some are big game. It's a pretty broad group of people, and they represent each county. We only have 17 counties in Nevada, and really 2 counties are don't really have active county game boards. I guess maybe one county really only doesn't, but the rest of the counties generally put in some information, and they might disagree with our recommendation, they might agree with them, and so you get these varying degrees of agreement with different people. And if most of the quotas that we recommend, it's an estimate. It's we're putting out a population estimate with a number of tags, and sometimes people want a few fewer tags, sometimes people want a few more, and generally we don't get too wrapped up in the small numbers of changes that people want to make. It's rarely do we ever make any mistake that is so drastic that we can't fix it the next year. And we manage for such high buck ratios, bull ratios, ram ratios, in Nevada that generally if we have a number of, a quota that's too high, we might get down to what we're trying to manage for. For deer, we might get down to $30 per 100 does.
Is that what you're trying to manage for, just roughly?
Yeah,
just across
Nevada in general for the standard units. Now we have, we manage for 3 different types of units. We have standard, we have non-standard, and we have alternative. And the alternative units are the units that I guess some people would call them quality or trophy type units, where we generally manage for about a 35 bucks per 100 in those units. But most of the other units are at 30. And then there are some units that we don't even survey. They're the real low density units. And we try to manage for about a 45% success rate in those units. And so if we see higher success, we might raise tags a bit. If we see lower success, we lower tags in those units. But the other one,
real arid desert units that you just can't have a quality survey on.
Yep, exactly. So
on the alternative trophy ones, I mean, is there just a standard? Is it the 241, 245, 231, 220s? I mean, or what units are those?
So up in the northern part of the state, it's 014, which is north of Reno, up by Gerlach.
Yeah.
I believe the Sheldon, which is 033, is managed that way. Over in the eastern region, units 081 and 065 are both alternative units. And then down in the south, it's areas 23 and I think 22, 23, and 24 are all managed that way.
And back in the day, just for the listeners that maybe are new to Nevada, you used to be in areas. So area 22 would be 221 to 223. Area 24, 241, 245. Area 23 would be 231. And so just that carries on. That terminology carries on. I don't know how many years ago you guys got away from that.
I know we get stuck in our ways of how we talk about things, and I hear a lot of things from back in early in my career, because we have 3 regions, and it's the western region and the eastern region, which are in the northern half of the state, and the southern region. And so when I started, they were regions 1, region 2, region 3, and so you still hear that terminology. And same thing with the areas. We fall into that trap where we still use the old language. So
somebody got jealous that somebody was region 1, so you're the west region. You're not one.
Exactly.
You're no longer number 1.
Exactly.
well. So with everything that's out now, what's about to go to the commission meeting, let's maybe just jump in, I guess, and get your general feeling and thoughts about, as we've alluded, we know we're coming off some extreme drought years, and obviously this last fall and winter has been really, really good throughout all of Nevada and Utah, and of course we need more of those to come. But what's the general vibe, feel, and what does that look like in terms of, I guess, general permit recommendations throughout Nevada this year?
Yeah, I have been an avid hunter for really my whole life, and I feel like if somebody draws a tag in Nevada, they should have an opportunity, not going to say a guarantee, but an opportunity to see a quality animal or to hunt a quality animal. And I think we're still doing that. We've tried to do that through my whole career. We've always been really conservative on the number of tags that we put out, and I still believe in that. And I want everybody to. I wish we could give everybody tags. We just don't have the numbers to do it. And but I do. I mean, I'm an avid hunter, and while I want to have a tag, I want to have the opportunity to hunt a quality animal. And so, that management scheme, I think it's just in general, that's how Nevada manages. And it's, it's not I haven't dictated any of that. It's just been what we've done. And through my whole career, we've tried to maintain high quality in Nevada, and we're still doing that.
Yeah.
So, you talked about the drought that we've been under, and it's been really tough. Drought has really ravaged Nevada. Different parts of Nevada have been worse than others, particularly the Northwest and then the South. We've had some issues with desert sheep, and just a couple of years ago we were filling guzzlers with helicopters because it was so dry.
Almost like you couldn't, Bronson and
Like
Adam,
literally saving sheep, because in some of these places there's not free water. There's not like Seep Springs, all that to feed to water 500-700 sheep in the muddies.
And we remember, it's almost like you couldn't fill them fast enough. Like there's so many guzzlers in Nevada.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys
we were having to fill them multiple times. It wasn't like we could go and fill them up one time and walk away.
Yeah.
We had to fill them up, and then we had to fill them up again, and then we had to fill them up again. And so, I think we ended up flying in one summer. We flew in like 265,000 gallons of water into various water sources, guzzlers down in southern Nevada, eastern Nevada, western Nevada. We did a lot of work that way, and that was just a couple of years ago. And so, here we are with, we've been trapping a lot of animals, putting collars on a lot of deer the last few years, and we've been seeing body condition is poor. And, it's troubling because a doe that gives birth to an underweight fawn, that fawn will never grow to the size of a healthy fawn. And, that if it's a buck fawn, he won't have the size of antlers that he would have if
his whole life.
Healthy, and
right?
His whole life. Yeah. He's never going to catch up. And so, we've been dealing with that. And then to see this winter, and this winter's been tough. All of the fisheries people are just jumping up and down because there's a ton of water, which is awesome, but it's been tough on some of our big game herds.
Yeah.
So
I think deer have been hit particularly hard, and we're going to see some reductions in deer tags, but the conditions that are out there are going to be phenomenal. And if anybody is ever thinking of drawing a deer tag in Nevada, this would be the year to do it.
So I think when you were talking about poor body conditions, you're talking about pre-2023 fall. Like it feels like all of the game animals came into the winter in incredible shape.
This winter specifically is
this
different.
Winter.
Yeah.
And then now they're coming out of the winter, with the exception, and we'll get to that, let's say Area 6, Area 10, Area 7, parts of it or whatever, where we had maybe some winter loss. Other than that, down here in the trophy areas, maybe even over where you're at, things are incredible. And the animals that are alive or on the landscape are going to be maxed out, trophy potential-wise. And I think that's, in layman terms, what you're talking about.
Yeah. I think with respect to body condition, animals should be coming. Now that winter's, I would say winter's over. Even though, like I said, I'm looking outside and watching it rain here in Reno, and rain is a good thing in Nevada. We don't get enough of it, and we don't see enough of it. But rain makes things grow, and it puts fat on animals. It puts it makes those animals in good body condition, and that results in better horn growth as well, better antler growth. And so I would expect that this year is going to be a phenomenal year to have a tag in Nevada. Like I said, the tag numbers are going to be down, but if you do draw a tag, you're going to be in good shape. There's going to be, there should be some quality animals out there and less competition with other hunters, just because there are fewer tags being recommended.
That's the very stuff we've been talking about. Exactly. Yeah. It's
well,
like if you can
everything
get a tag,
you can to get a tag.
If you can get a tag, it's the year you want.
Even
one.
These odd units, Mike, you've been through enough of these droughts, and then we see, Bronson, you and I hunted in Nevada very aggressively over the years. When you see, even in the drought era, you'll see a slight, let's call it you have a wet April and May, and all of a sudden the antlers just come on deer specifically. We'd have on trail camera like 20 bucks over 200 inches. And then if you go into a dry year and then have a dry spring on top of it, and you just have marginal conditions overall, you can't find one. Maybe one. Yeah. And it's amazing.
Same exact places you found them the year before.
Well, in the same deer.
Same camera.
You have the same deer.
Yes.
That deer has a split ear. He's this. Look at the difference.
There's $5 here. There's $5 here again.
Yeah.
And
40 inches off or whatever.
Yeah.
Or 40 inches better. And that's the year we're having right now. So the downside is not as many tags yet. And so drawing odds will be tougher and whatnot. But when you're out there, those who get the tag, you're going to have less people, less teams, and you're going to have big animals. Antelope too. Bronson, I think we overlook the antelope in Nevada. It's unbelievable.
We talk about it a lot, but
upper 80s,
but they're hard
90s.
to get, but they are.
Oh, they're special.
Well, they
so
are.
Bronson this morning has been plugging and playing on his antelope choices, and it's the species that just kind of is overlooked in my mind. It's just overshadowed and overlooked. And go try to kill a booner and see how hard it is. And Nevada's known for it.
Well, it goes back to what we've been taught. We've always had this philosophy of Nevada, and Mike's reinforced it. It is a state with scarce resources from a big scale wildlife population standpoint.
Considering Utah or Colorado or something.
Or all the western states. It's the driest state in the nation. So my point was what we've been saying is, yes, they even before the drought, it's always been you start managing, and that $30 per 100 does that you manage for, that's a postseason ratio, right, Mark? Mike?
Yeah, that's a postseason.
Yeah.
We're starting.
That's
after
impressive.
the hunts.
That's impressive.
Yeah, we manage Utah's best limited entries for 35 plus.
Yeah, best. We're talking the 3
Henry's,
or 4.
Ponsagon.
Henry's, Ponce.
That's it. 2.
Well, those are called the premiums.
That's
but even though Oaks is awesome,
those
but we
are
don't manage it for
25 or
that.
30.
I know.
That's the same. So our point is, and the same translates to elk, which they don't really have. People ask us a lot of time, I just want better odds. I just want to shoot a 6-point bull in Nevada. Well, okay, there's no better. They're all better than that. Way better than that. And great quality.
Well, we'll have guys that'll say, we want 330 bulls. You can do that on every unit.
Yes, that's right. That's our point. There's no hey, I just want to shoot a 5-point bull. Well, there's nothing where they just give a ton of tags to just go shoot 5-point bulls. That doesn't exist in Nevada. It's a quality product. And to your point, antelope is one of those too. It doesn't matter if it's desert sheep, California bighorn, goats, elk, deer, antelope, and they're big. They're big. And so, I don't know, anything really big with potential. And they're hard to draw, and then you have to, a 3-year wait on an antelope. So you kind of want to get a good one when you get a tag as a non-resident.
And I think, anyway, it's pretty awesome. You get any kind of tag in Nevada. There are easier to draw units like for deer, especially
deer
archery deer, middle of the state area, 14, area 15, or some of these even up north.
Yeah.
There's units that are easier to draw, and that's fine. And there's plenty of guys that want those tags.
You can work the odds a little bit more
can.
on archery antelope or archery deer, muzzleloader deer, or even rifle deer on those type of units. But
and even those units that are easier to draw, I guarantee you there are people that will shoot
big deer,
really beautiful animals out of those units.
Well, what's crazy is a lot of those units have no population base of people to be out scouting and working it. Like, you drive across Nevada, you're by yourself. I mean, you better take some tire plugs. You might want to take an extra battery. I don't know, like gas. I mean, it's impressive. That's what I love about Nevada.
Long way in between towns in Nevada.
Yeah, it is. And so, anyway, pretty impressive. And so, I think to your point, there was a 250 buck member killed on that late archery in Area 10. I mean, a literal giant. And it just reminds you, geez, don't be overlooking
one
stuff.
of the hardest hunted
happen.
Unit clusters in the state for all intents and purposes.
And has good high deer numbers, but not necessarily known as one of the best producers, but there it is. You just don't know where they're going to come from. So
this is the type of year that's even truer in my mind.
So pretty incredible. So on the like desert sheep, you're obviously you guys are cutting tags a bit. That's in relation to what's out there on the landscape. You're still dealing with, I want to say, over 8,000 sheep alive in the state of Nevada.
8,000 deserts.
Yeah.
the desert sheep, I mean, that resource, we're dealing with some disease issues, and there's units that are, dropping off numbers, related to disease, some related to drought combined with disease, and there's some that are down a bit, but in general, again, it's a really, really quality hunt. And I know I actually saw Adam on a hunt last year.
I was just going to say, like, on most units, you still don't even ever see anybody. Like the muddies and that is kind of, there's a lot of people there, but like it's almost rare to see anybody. But ran into Mike last year in Nevada. So Nevada,
you ended up
you're
smoking
down there.
a ram. I guess you guys kind of watched Bronson and smash
we
a ram.
I think so. I don't know.
It was pretty funny because my buddy and I were there, and we were, our other the hunter was actually a little ways away. He was in a different part of the mountain, but my friend, right at first light, he goes, "Hey, I found a ram," and I said, "Is it a good ram?" And he says, "Yeah, it looks like a really good ram." And I'm messing around trying to get my phone scope up and everything, and all of a sudden we hear boom, and he looks at me and I look at him, and he said, "Was that on our side of the mountain?" And I said, "You need to check out and see if that ram's still there." And he gets in his spotting scope and he looks and he says, "Oh, it's still there, but its feet are up in the air now."
And Adam didn't even know anything about it. Like,
we
he had
didn't
no
know
idea you were there.
We're all looking west, and that's where the sheep is, and we're, I don't know, roughly a mile in front of Mike, or roughly, I don't know, mile and a half, whatever it was. But so we're all looking one direction. We knew where the ram was from the day before, and we had tunnel vision waiting for it to get light, and fortunately they didn't move anywhere overnight. And it wasn't until we were walking up that we looked back, and the other crew was coming up and say, "Hey, there's some other hunters back here, I think." And so we look back and see a truck, like, well, probably hunters, but I guess we're.
Adam said, he said, "You wouldn't
in the
believe
right
who I
direction."
saw in the field. You wouldn't believe
and
it."
what a beautiful ram. Gosh,
Yeah.
that was just an absolutely gorgeous ram too. And
But,
so we congratulated you and your hunter on that. That was well done.
That was down in the McCulloughs, which is one of the best units in the state.
Yeah.
It's pretty
fun
awesome.
time.
Very good.
Like hunting Nevada desert sheep. It's usually, I'm done hunting them in Utah. It's usually warmer. I have been snowed on down there in southern Nevada
remember
before.
when we were rain? It
Oh,
was rain every day.
yeah, I've been in the McCulloughs and it snowed down there like that year, 3 or 4 years ago. It was nuts. But normally you go down there, you
Nice
enjoy the weather.
Yeah.
I'm sure Mike at the time he's up around Reno. It's way warmer down there. It's not anybody asks you for help on the desert sheep hunt. It's real easy to say yes. I'll head to the desert and have a fun time down there
It's a
looking
good
for
time.
sheep. So
what a fun hunt.
yeah,
Absolutely.
it is. So anyway,
Well, what we like about Nevada too is they have actual set-aside tags for non-residents, and so you can go on and you can be guaranteed that there's going to be a tag or two or whatever issued, 5 in the muddies, but I mean that are actually issued to non-residents, so you know what you're drawing on.
it's a set aside.
Yeah.
Conversely, to some states where it's an up to 10%, and you're applying for maybe a statewide quota of 10% of the tags, and you don't know what units those are going to be drawn from, like an Idaho or in some cases Montana. Where they can come from in Montana, but doesn't guarantee you're going to get one there. So we like that. It does make it very definitive in terms of what you're applying for.
And while you're doing that, you might as well be applying for the California bighorns, elk, deer, antelope, anything of interest. Now you've got mountain goats for non-residents.
Yeah.
Brought back in for this year.
That's new back again this year. We did open up the mountain goat hunt for a non-resident. So again, you got the Ruby Mountains, and what an amazing resource that is. Holy cow.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to go and fly that with our biologist up there a year and a half ago in January. And, being in Southern Nevada, I had been in the Rubies a few times and hiked around and glassed and seen goats and everything, but I'd never had the opportunity to fly them and actually go count them. And, truly, that's one of the most, best days of my career was to just see as many goats. I mean, because we had a record survey of mountain goats, and because they've been struggling a bit too, and now we're seeing growth in that population. We're seeing some survival of kids, and so that's looking better, and it's exciting to see that population starting to bounce back.
Yeah. How are the Rockies doing? Obviously, we can't apply for them, as non-residents, but seems like you went through some struggles there. It seems like you're looking decent.
Yeah, we are struggling. Our Rockies are struggling a little bit, and that's mainly disease issues. And we do have a couple of units that are still open. What's exciting is the Ruby Mountains is back open again.
Yep.
And we're gonna hopefully we'll continue to see that population increase. And we're trying to solve some of the disease issues on some of the other units. We've got some we're collaring some animals in some of the units over in the eastern side of the state, trying to figure out why we're not seeing mature rams, and why hunters aren't able to find some of those mature rams. We know they're there. There's we do get a report here and there of people seeing them, but good grief, it's been so difficult for our hunters to actually find them. But we've closed some of those units and left other ones, opened up the rubies, and so it's a quality hunt, but again, a pretty low number of tags, and we're just gonna be working on that, trying to increase those numbers and get that back to where we can have a few more tags.
I don't think it'll be too long, and the rubies will produce those giant rams you guys were known for.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
You know what we like too, Bronson, because we've had a lot of kids, is the $15 hunting license fee for kids.
Yeah, it's kind of a no-brainer when Nevada started that. I mean, at least by the time they're 12 and 18, they get 5 or 6 points built up for or they've drawn tags. Maybe you might still need to be fairly aggressive. Anybody starting in Nevada should be maybe a little bit more aggressive about their application strategy, just because it is generally, like we've talked about, it's a quality state for all species. It's not real easy to draw, but it does soften the blow from a pocketbook standpoint to apply
For
your
the
kids.
dads.
And up until they're 18, and then
after that, you get
you gave them a gift for 6 years.
Yeah, and we get to decide how serious they are about it, and if they are serious, why dads a lot of times will keep going, keep helping them through college and whatnot. But I just love how it's so affordable. You've got a $10 application fee with the exception of elk. Of course, we got a little predator fee and a few very small incidentals on that, and then 155 non-refundable hunting license to gain points for the adult non-residents, and then 15 for the kids. So includes fishing and everything else. It's just awesome combo.
Yep.
We're looking at doing some more things for youths and juniors as well. We're I don't know if you've applied for Nevada yet, but you can actually donate and buy a youth license, or a hunting fishing license now. And so we're looking at trying to increase the number of juniors that are involved. And we realize that we need to grow this sport, and trying to get people involved and keep them involved, get them into the outdoors. It's such a noble endeavor to try to get people outdoors and keep them involved in this sport. And we believe in that, and we're going to invest in youths and juniors as best we can. So that's a new thing for us this year.
It's awesome. You know what else, Bronson? They've got these PIW tags. I've never been able to get one, but they give 3 non-resident deer PIW tags. Partnership in Wildlife allows you to hunt any open season. If I drew one of those, I'm probably giving up everything else in my life.
Silver State. You add those on top of it.
You got Silver States who are good for
that's a
either
true
resident or
governor
non-resident.
tag. August 1 till end of the year roughly, maybe plus or minus on something. But bottom line, you get a hunt. You're the lone ranger out there on the. You wouldn't even run to Mike Scott out there on a hunt like that.
Oh, I hope not. Can you still write tickets, Mike? Can you still write a ticket if I were to do something bad in the hills?
No. They took my gun and badge away a long time ago. The biologists, all our biologists used to be commissioned, and we used to, I used to drive around, and it gave me a really good reason to stop and talk to people, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was really good, and but
But
I don't know. We're still dealing with a lot of the same issues that other states are, and trying to keep game wardens in the field, and get people. I mean, one of the challenges for us is just in general. I think we have about a 20% vacancy rate right now in our agency. So, there's times that we can't get to the phone, or we can't call people back in a timely manner, and it's simply because we're struggling to keep people employed. So
yeah. Well, it's just that day and age. It's tough. It's tough to keep up with inflation and other things and whatnot. It's just everything seems a little bit tough nowadays. But that's what I really like about Nevada is you don't sell your soul. You guys do what's right when it comes to tag numbers. I've personally seen some of the vehicles that you guys are running 150,000 miles of dirt road and whatnot, and living within the budget, and working your guts out, and not, you could decrease this to $20 per 100 does and issue a bunch more tags and maybe, lighten the pressure of maintaining budgets and whatnot. And so anyway, and with the mentality of a trophy experience, call it a trophy quality experience for everybody. It's a great excuse to support Nevada. It's just, I love that state. So anyway,
I do too.
Well, I appreciate what you guys do. I know, I've known you guys for a long time, and I've seen some of the pictures of the animals that you harvest, and I admire the heck out of you, and I appreciate everything that you guys do for us.
Well, there's a lot of residents that didn't like to see those Nevada bucks leave the state.
You're talking to one.
Hey, you got a tag, legal tag holder. I mean, it's the way the chips fall.
No, you know what? Anybody that's willing to come to Nevada and work hard deserves to take home a quality animal. Yeah. And I'll be the first one to be happy for you when you come to Nevada. So,
well, I think it's good too to remind people that all 5 choices count, and so you can do. There's some good and bad. I mean, it allows for lots of valid applications, and so which can be tough on draws, but it also, Bronson, that's why you're plugging and playing so much. Is like, I can choose my top 3 or top 1 to 3 choices, and then what am I willing to accept on the bottom end?
It's usually weapon types. I still kind of want generally these handful or so of units that I personally want, but then it turns to muzzle and archery usually, versus maybe the late rifle hunt, of course, right, which is a pipe dream a lot of times. So, yeah, it allows you to do that. We encourage people to keep that in mind. Don't use up 3 or 4 of them on the best in the state thinking one better odds at the end is going to make sure you're going to get drawn. If you're, have your criteria in mind that what you're willing to accept and hunt, given the parameters of this year, meaning most of Nevada is at or above normal. Moisture everywhere is above normal in terms of precip. And more average stuff is going to be able to produce above average animals to some extent this year.
You're going to see question. A new state. I mean, yeah. I had a guy tell me, he says, you guys aren't even going to put $220 on the cover this year. I don't know if that's true, but you're going to see a new state.
It's been several years in a row. Like we used to say, you never have 2 bad years in a row. Those theories have been blown out, or the water. This drought had a
we didn't know
grip,
what we were
man.
talking about.
No. But we're finally hopefully going to come out of that. And like's been said, it's going to be tough to get a tag, but we like Nevada. Just a purely random draw. Your points are squared, and so first year applicants got a chance.
The other thing that even if you don't draw a tag, that we still have that first come first serve system that's going, and so people that do draw tags, and they might go scout, they might not find what they want to see, or they might have some conflict that comes up and they turn their tags in, and we do have that first come first serve system, and so people can log on to that, and if the right tag pops up at the right time, they can buy it, and and go hunt it. And I know a lot of people have been pretty happy about that. So we're excited about that. That is putting about I don't know, anywhere from 1,000 to 1,100 people in the field,
Back in the
where
field, yeah.
before those tags were going unused. And so now we're putting those tags in people's pockets and letting them hunt.
And I think you can turn those back to the business day prior to the season starting, and then and you can get all your points back. And so it's not a huge deal, so to speak. I mean, obviously
Lose some permit fees,
Yeah.
but I mean, if your
yeah.
points may be worth a lot more than a permit fee if you really can't go do a hunt justice.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then you throw it back, and then some lucky guy that's watching the computer 24/7. I mean, literally, it's all night, all day, all night for 7 days a week. Somebody's going to get lucky and snag a tag.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's possible.
they do.
Really cool system. So, yeah, you can apply for desert sheep, California bighorns, elk, deer, antelope, goats. You can also do the Silver State tags that are good for one person to hunt the entire state for
4 or 5
months
months,
on
whatever.
Yeah, it's the same as the heritage tag.
Yep.
It's the
which a governor's tag.
exact same.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
kind of make fun that those are bad odds, and they are. But every year, Carter, we know multiple
We
PIW
we
and
have
Silver
guys
State
call
guys
us.
every year.
Maybe
that
even half the tags
yeah.
will call us.
they go. So
So
they're real people at the end of those statistics. They're live, breathing hunters.
yeah, and they're not. That tag's not coming available on the first come
No.
first serve.
No, they're not. So
But you got to have a name in the hat, and I'll be the first to say it. My name's in there.
It's
I
in
do
there.
it. I don't
I'm a
care.
sucker for stuff like that. Yep,
Oh,
it's
just
in.
is what it is.
The what if scenarios. The upside is pretty up.
Yeah. Real quick, Mike, you guys had, a great winter, but with that, rarely do you have winter loss. Had a little bit experience mostly in the 101 to 109 Ruby's country and Area 6 and a little bit, and Area 7 a little bit.
Yeah, Area 10 was hit probably the hardest of all of them, but we did see some loss in both Area 6 and Area 7.
Yeah.
Those, we did reduce tags pretty dramatically in 10, and a little bit less so in 6 and 7. And those are our big deer areas. But we should see them bounce back. It might take a couple years
For sure.
for those numbers to bounce back to where we'd like to see them. But we've been working on mule deer for a couple of years now, just we've started a mule deer enhancement program, and we have 14 different subcommittees around the state of Nevada that identify what they think the limiting factors are, and they then they propose projects to address those limiting factors. And so we've actually started spending a lot of money on some of those projects for the benefit of mule deer. And we recognize that if we do good things for mule deer, it's going to benefit all the other species that are out on the landscape. And so it's a good program. We're continuing it this year and into the future. And it's tough when you want to increase mule deer to see a really tough winter come along and knock you back. But like we say, the habitat conditions this year should be ideal.
Yeah.
And we should see, I know a lot of the does around the state are going to be in good body condition, and hopefully they'll end up having twins or triplets, and we'll see some bounce back with recruitment. But it's a tough deal when you see a tough winter like this. And
only in
even
part.
now.
Yeah, only in parts of it though. And I think with that tough,
Yeah.
we have it here in northern Utah, but then down south, people are giddy.
Yeah,
So excited.
It's hard for us to be
Yeah.
like that because we realize there's other half of Utah that doesn't think as excitement about.
We're ready for rain now.
That's right.
Let's bring on the rain.
Yeah, and they're flooding away, but it's just because we've been in a dust bowl for so dang long down here, and southern Nevada where we like to play around too. It's just been literally unbelievably dry. I've never lived through anything in my adult life, maybe as a kid, but I wouldn't pretend to know. Remember, it was unbelievable.
What I love, what you guys doing for mule deer too, is like, you remember, Bronson, when you apply for deer and whatnot, and then it says, by the way, do you want a lion tag? Yeah. Are you sure you don't want a lion tag? So
I like it.
Hey, I got one.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. And you guys are basically, you're selling lion tags, but they're affordable.
$100,
and you want
$104 or something like
you
that.
want people to have them while they're in the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want people to be able to have multiple opportunities, and And if they happen to see a lion and have the opportunity, great.
Smash it. Which
you
is,
know,
helping deer.
Yep.
So. All right. Well, we appreciate
Anything
you.
we left out, Mike, that you'd like to cover or highlight that you feel like is noteworthy that we missed on covering?
Well, the only thing that we didn't really talk about much was elk, and I would say that elk are going to be, they probably wintered better than the deer did, but our elk populations are, again, they're smaller than a lot of the adjacent states, but we do have some real high quality bull elk.
We're talking world class. I think you're being humble at saying high quality.
They're amazing. Yep. When you get an elk tag in Nevada, and there's a reason why you have a 7-year wait after you draw. I mean, it's a 1 or 2 in your lifetime as a non-resident, and maybe even residents. I don't know, but it's you really have something when you get an elk.
Well,
tag.
there's reasons that some of the landowner tags are going for $45,000 to $85,000. You know what I mean? Just for a landowner tag, I think that's speaks volumes to the kind of quality tag that you can draw.
And the year we're coming into, anticipated antler growth wise, things like that. So
yeah,
you're right.
It should be pretty good. It should be good too. So I don't know. We'll see. But there is reason for optimism, and like I said, if there's ever a reason anybody wants to apply in Nevada, this would be the year to do it. And if you do draw a tag, you stand a chance of drawing a really, really high quality tag, and you might be able to hunt an exceptional
Something
animal.
special.
So,
There's one other thing we didn't cover, Bronson.
What?
Well, I was just
Chuckers?
wondering.
Don't say
no,
chuckers.
well, dude,
What?
it's freaking chucker heaven.
Okay, but what?
I mean,
Not
it's stupid. I've been up there in that 051, and they were flying. Have you ever had thousands of chuckers before daylight? You're flying all around your truck because they're on the road. I mean, Mike, it's unbelievable.
But
I hope so.
Yeah, but what were you going to say? No chuckers.
Well, Mike's a trophy deer hunter. And I just want to know, A, Mike, have you applied? And B, what were your first 5 choices? All 5 choices. Just teasing, Mike.
Really
I'm just
want me
teasing.
to say that?
No. I just want to give you a hard time about it.
Yeah, Carter won't even tell me his, Mike, so don't even go there with me trying to tell you.
I did apply, but I would just about guarantee that all 3 of us are applying for probably the same areas.
Okay, back to his roots.
Back to the roots.
Even though you're based out of Reno, we're back to the roots.
Well,
all right.
Yep.
Well,
I was down in Pioche for 15 years, and I still have a love for that country, and I'll probably continue to apply there for the rest of my hunting life, and I love the area, and regardless of the number of tags, up, down, whatever it is, I want to go hunt that area. I don't. I mean, there are a lot of people that'll play the odds and look at different areas around the state, and I respect that choice, but I want to go back to 22, 23, 24, and just see the country that I used to fly around in, and different rock piles.
You know it like the back of your hand.
Yeah.
You can just say it. I know you
hunt
do.
the remnants of what he left there 20 years ago. I mean, you want to hunt the grandsons.
Yeah. I do. I just like the area.
I just got a question. It's not official business. Like, do you miss the good old days? Like when I was in Nevada in 2000 to 2005 and 6 and all that. Let's call it pre-trail camera. Just back in the good old days, you felt like if you busted a tire, you're gonna be there until you figure out how to get out. You know what I mean? And do you miss those good old days back then?
I do, absolutely. Because they really were good old days.
Yeah.
And but at the same time, these are the good old days for somebody else. So, we're still living in a good time.
Yeah, we are. It's an incredible state. I just love how you can get lost out there and you can go all day and not see another truck and coyote hunt from one end to the other. I mean, just endless, amazing country. But all right, well, we have an affection for that. What, Mike, real quick, for the 15 years you were down there, what was your official job title down there?
I was the game biologist for areas 22, 23, 24, and 27.
Okay, pretty special time in your life, really.
Yep.
Yeah, I miss it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I miss it.
Well,
now I deal with different things with the agency, and I still have a passion for it. And I grew up in this agency, and I really appreciate the purpose and the passion that all the employees have, and that's been one of the reasons why I've stayed so long. I probably should have retired about 3 or 4 years ago. But
are you past retirement eligibility?
Oh, yeah.
30,
I'm a ways past it now.
30 plus. Yeah.
I'm a ways past. But
Well,
anyway,
Stick it out.
still good.
yeah.
stick
You're
it
doing
out.
good things, so we appreciate it.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll be watching the commission meeting. We don't miss them. So
Okay.
See
All
what
right.
happens. But thanks
I
a lot.
appreciate you guys' time. Thank
Hey.
you.
No, we appreciate your time, Mike. Thanks a lot. We'll have you on again sometime for sure.
Very good.
thanks,
Very good.
Mike.
You guys take care.
All right, buddy.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye now.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm gonna go change some apps. Just
Just because you can.
yeah, I love it. They're the king of the plug and play,
I,
and Utah
I
went
hate
to
the states that don't allow you to amend.
It's
Arizona.
this day and age of electronic. You can't even apply on paper in the
Yeah.
same state. Like,
I
how
mean,
can you not get into it?
Idaho, whatever. Well, I mean, officially,
Yeah,
not
I
an
mean, you
easy
can-
plug and play. You can, you can
Notarize
I
some
get it.
stuff
I
and
get
send
it.
it in. But
I just
anyway,
like to play around, screw around.
if you
with
can
it.
apply the last 5 minutes or 3 minutes of a deadline, why can't you amend your application up to that same period? It doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense.
Yeah.
Your application doesn't stick until 11:45 or 11:59 that night. Why can't you go change it? Anyway, if I was king of any state, that would be the first thing I'd do. Well, maybe not the first, but
Well, Bronson, we've had a lot of big deer stories, elk stories with the guys, everything. I don't know that we necessarily need to tell
No,
another
I
Nevada
just- I
story.
think
we've
we'll talk
experienced
about
it.
'em.
It's hard to
we've talked a
Spew
lot
it,
about it.
because
It's time to make more stories,
yeah,
which means we need tags.
yeah,
And so,
it's true.
like he said, if there's a magic wand or if there's anything lucky that you have to rub, rabbit's foot, 4-leaf clovers, anything you have, rub it before May 10th. So anyway,
All right.
you know,
Okay. Well,
this is the year you want to tag in Nevada. There's no question.
there is no question. Force the draw. Force the draw.
That's not possible.
It's
but,
not.
But
It's
may,
not.
just
There's some weird
Pray.
units out there. We call them weird. It's just they're somebody's special place. Like the local knowledge, I can't overemphasize how important local knowledge is. It's our weird unit, obscure unit, is somebody's treasure, and he's watching a big
Yeah.
deer year to year.
well, it's like for us, like say the northern or northwest corner of the state. I don't personally have interest. I'm more like Mike. I want to hunt the units. Personally, I want to hunt myself. Where I'm familiar with and
broke
where I
lots of bread
Yes.
down here.
That's right. I know there's good deer to be had in other places,
Oh.
way far away.
Like we should be doing an 031 or
Yeah,
I don't know, something.
I just don't. But I like to take part a lot in my hunts. Those are a lot harder for us to scout. People from Oregon, Washington, California.
Oh.
That makes complete sense up there. But like you said, those type of units this year, you're going to see stuff come out of units that people are going to be like, I didn't think that was still possible.
It's fun. It's so fun. I can't wipe the freaking smile off my face knowing we're going to have submissions like crazy from big deer, big elk, big antelope, desert sheep,
Yep.
California bighorns.
What'd
Anyway.
you say the result date was? May 18th or 19th?
Yeah,
Something like that?
Yep.
19th?
May 19th is kind of like
Tentative.
posted on or before, but you know how that goes.
Seems like that week of about the 15th.
It won't be later than that.
15th to the 19th is going to be a big – there's a lot going to come out then. I mean, Utah could. Utah's a little bit delayed this year, their commission meeting, so it maybe is a little bit later than that. But Nevada, Montana, moose, sheep, and
There's
goat
a
should be right in that week.
And then you get into early June, and then you got a whole nother,
Oh, yeah.
Colorado, stuff like that. So
It seems like that last 2 weeks in May, it just seems like it's every 2
coming.
days.
I
There's
know.
that. Then you got
So we
Idaho,
need
moose,
to-
sheep,
it's
and goat.
another good reason we're resting up and only working 40 or 50 hours a week. You know?
Yeah. We're gearing up for scouting season.
Gearing
You
up
know.
for everybody calling in,
Anyway.
telling us their results.
All right. Well, listen to the podcast. Go tag us on Instagram like we talked about earlier. We're going to give away Uno de Mayo.
Epic.
Prize on Cinco de Mayo.
On Cinco de Mayo. How about that? I like it.
So anyway, we like it.
I
But
like it.
Anything else we need to cover?
No, dude. Heck no. I mean, we're doing good. We're getting trucks and geared up, and that's always fun.
5 o'clock somewhere.
All right, guy. Yeah, it is 5 o'clock. Let's get out of here.
We'd like to thank all of our sponsors here at Epic Outdoors. For top-of-the-line hunting, clothing, and apparel in every environment, visit UnderArmour.com. We'd like to thank Under Armour for being our title sponsor and making this podcast happen. Visit our website, epicoutdoors.com, for discount codes to Under Armour hunting apparel. Handcrafted, quality, precision rifles from start to finish. Red Rock Precision is one of our sponsors, and many of our staff uses Red Rock rifles. Visit redrockprecision.com to find out more. If you're in the market for a hunting property, our sponsor at St. James Sporting Properties specialize in premier hunting properties throughout the West. Check out available hunting properties at stjamessportingproperties.com. Good-looking, comfortable camo describes Kuiu. The new bush pants from Kuiu keep your legs comfortable while walking through the thorns and bristles. Visit kuiu.com for sizing and prices. Kenetrek makes great boots for any situation. Most sheep hunters in the high, rocky altitudes use these boots to keep their ankles in check on the rough terrain. Visit kenetrek.com to learn more. We at Epic Outdoors are a fierce firearms dealer and have many popular models in stock and ready to ship. Call us if you would like help deciding which options are right for you. Fierce long-range rifles are a great rifle, and many of our employees here use them. Visit fiercearms.com to learn more. Triple S Polaris specializes in custom setup hunting side-by-sides. They deliver right to your door nationwide. Visit ssspolaris.com to learn more. For affordable, long-range rifles and shooting schools, visit thompsonlongrange.com. Hoyt is top-of-the-line archery equipment. Hoyt is the official bow manufacturer of Epic Outdoors. Everyone on our staff shoots a Hoyt bow. Call if you'd like to visit about their different models or visit Hoyt.com. Thank you to PhoneScope, the best camera optic adapter out there. PhoneScope makes high-quality phone cases and optics adapters. Visit phonescope.com to learn more. StealthCam has high-quality, durable trail cameras that we all love to use. Check them out at www.stealthcam.com or call us to order today. Here at Epic Optics, we are a verified dealer for Swarovski, Zeiss, Leica, Vortex, StealthCam, and more. Call us today to visit about the available optics we have and what would be right for you, or visit epicoptics.com. For only $150 a year, you get 9 issues of the Epic Outdoors magazine and unlimited access to our hunt consultant, as well as access to our verified research website. To see all the other member benefits, visit epicoutdoors.com. If you hunt multiple states, our services are essential. The Epic Outdoors License Application Service is for you if you ever miss deadlines or would like help developing your long, medium, and short-term license application goals. Give us a call today at 435-263-0777 to learn more.